You're listening to Heckam World Weekly, the nation's only weekly podcast bringing reverse mortgage news to you, the mortgage professional. There are reverse mortgage calculators, but then there are reverse mortgage point-of-sale solutions. Lenderful Solutions helps you get more loans, retain more customers, and even make online applications a reality. To learn more, visit lenderfulsolutions.com.
Welcome back to Heckam World Weekly. I'm Gabrielle Hayen. This week, there's a real sense that momentum is building across the reverse mortgage industry, but at the same time, pressure is building around the clients that we serve. We've seen industry leaders gather in Tennessee to talk growth, collaboration, and the future of reverse mortgages. But alongside that, we're also seeing rising foreclosures, affordability pressure, changing retirement dynamics, and a housing market that continues to shift in real time. And when you zoom out, the message becomes pretty clear. The role of the reverse mortgage professional is evolving. It's no longer just about transactions. It's increasingly about guidance, strategy, and helping clients navigate complexity before they run out of options. So let's jump in. This week, close to 200 reverse mortgage finance and property professionals gathered in Knoxville, Tennessee for the first Reverse Mastermind Sales Summit, sponsored by Heckam World and Reverse Focus. This wasn't just another conference. There was a genuine feeling that the industry is entering a new phase. More collaboration, more innovation, more urgency around helping professionals adapt to where the market is heading. One of the standout speakers was reverse mortgage educator and Reverse Plus co-founder Dan Holtquist, who spoke about the sheer scale of the opportunity ahead for this industry. And honestly, the numbers are staggering.
Guys, the market is absolutely huge. $14 trillion in housing health, just American seniors, just in their principal residence. And we have a retirement crisis. You guys are impacting lives literally every day. 11,400 people turn 65. Big 65 is a phenomenon where more Americans than ever are becoming eligible for Medicare, and it's happening right now. And they're making major retirement decisions at age 65. By the end of 2026, every baby boomer will be age eligible for a HECR. I've been waiting for that day. Gen Xers are more willing to leverage their housing wealth to meet their financial needs than previous generations. From my perspective, the demand for liquid home equity is only going to be growing for the remainder of my career and for many. All right, so I think that's something extremely positive to look at from a market standpoint.
That really captures the scale of the demographic shift happening right now. And another major theme coming out of the summit was collaboration. Dan made the point that this industry's biggest challenge is not necessarily competition from within, but public perception.
The things you think and do not say in the future of our business. From people on the front lines like yourselves, we are not competing against each other. We're competing against public perception, which is why every single one of us would be helping everybody else sell more loans. This is the only industry I've ever seen where we want to help our competitors do more business. All right, so it's a very collaborative business.
That idea of collaboration and shared education really seemed to define the tone of the event. Another key moment came from event founder Lauren Riddick, national director at Nexa Mortgage, who spoke about what he calls sorting in sales.
Professionals sort, amateurs convince. Whether you're recruiting, whether you're working with a client or a partner, professionals sort, amateurs convince. In the sales process, there's a red apple, green apple, rotten apple. 90% of our business comes from the red apple. 10% from the green apple, 0% from the rotten apple. So think of it like this. Red apple. I've got a gold brick. I'm in New York, city that I love, on the block. And I've got a gold brick. And I'm going, free gold brick, free gold brick. Who wants it? Red apple, I want it. And a really good red apple is when I say, hey man, go see that guy. He's got a gold brick. A green apple's gonna go, what do you get out of? How many carrots is this? Where did you get this from? All right? We're gonna ask a lot of questions. And the rotten apple's gonna go, oh man, this is fool's gold, man. Now, how dare you stand over here and offer me a free gold brick and a really bad rotten apple. Did you ever stop in the middle and go, don't go there, or even worse, they're going to try to talk you out of it. Professionals or amateurs convinced.
Now, while there was optimism and energy coming out of Tennessee, the macro environment continues to tell a more challenging story. This week, the Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. foreclosure filings hit a 6-year high in the first quarter, with March up 28% year over year. And a big driver behind that appears to be the rollback of pandemic-era FHA support programs. During COVID, borrowers had much greater flexibility around partial claims and payment relief. Now, borrowers must wait 2 years between claims and prove they can make 3 consecutive mortgage payments before qualifying for assistance. For many struggling households, that may simply not be realistic. Industry estimates suggest as many as 250,000 households could lose their homes over the next 12 to 18 months through foreclosure, short sale, or forced sale. And when you layer in rising property taxes, insurance costs, and broader cost of living pressure, this becomes a serious conversation. For reverse mortgage professionals, there's probably an important lesson here. If reverse mortgages only enter the conversation once somebody is already in distress, we may already be too late. The opportunity is earlier, helping clients plan earlier, educating earlier, creating flexibility earlier, because once options narrow, solutions become harder. Now let's talk housing. New home sales rebounding in March, rising 7.4% to an annualized rate of 682,000 units. At first glance, that sounds positive, but underneath the surface, the market remains very nuanced. Inventory is still elevated at around 8.5 months of supply, which is well above what's considered balance. Builders are holding more stock, median new home prices are down more than 6% year over year, and mortgage rates have climbed back up above 6%. So this doesn't necessarily look like a housing crash, it looks more like a market adjusting. Buyers are cautious, builders are cautious, consumers are more selective, and increasingly, financing strategy matters. There's also a policy discussion gaining momentum around Social Security. A new bill in Congress is proposing to repeal the Social Security earnings test, the rule that currently reduces benefits for retirees who continue working before reaching full retirement age. If that changes, older Americans could potentially continue working and earning income without reducing benefits. On one hand, that creates flexibility, but it also highlights a much bigger conversation happening right around retirement readiness in America. Because retirement today looks very different than it did 20 years ago, longer lifespans, higher living costs, more financial pressure, and in many cases, adult children moving back home. Which brings us to another major trend this week, boomerang living. According to a recent survey from Thrivent, nearly half of parents have had an adult child move back home, and this has now been consistent for 3 straight years. That's no longer an exception, that's becoming normalized, but it comes with financial consequences. 43% of parents are cutting back spending to support their children, and nearly 1 in 5 are reducing their own retirement savings. That changes how we think about the family home. For many retirees, the home is no longer just a retirement asset. It's becoming a multi-generational support system. And again, housing wealth sits right in the middle of that conversation. Finally, this week, HECM World released the April Top 100 HECM Lenders Report. April endorsements came in at just over 2,000 loans, relatively flat month over month. But the more important story is what's happening underneath the surface. Regions with stronger access to proprietary reverse mortgage products are putting pressure on traditional HECM volume, and that reinforces a major shift. HECM is no longer operating in isolation. It's competing inside a broader ecosystem of retirement and home equity solutions. So when you step back and look at all of this together, rising foreclosures, changing retirement patterns, multi-generational households, policy shifts, housing affordability pressure, product competition, these are not isolated trends anymore. They're converging. And I think that's where the opportunity sits for this industry, not simply in selling products, but in helping people make sense of what's happening around them, helping clients understand their options, helping families think strategically, helping retirees create flexibility and stability in uncertain times. Because right now, clarity may be one of the most valuable things that we can provide. Thanks for joining us for HECM World Weekly. I'm Gabrielle Hayen. For more information, links, data sources, and additional coverage from the Reverse Mastermind Sales Summit, head to heckhamworld.com.